So imagine harvesting 15,000 pineapples, and after 1 year you harvest 15,000 pineapples up to 3 times. And remember, these are pineapples that are not going to ripen at a go. That's the beauty of a pineapple garden.
Yes.
1 acre, you'll find that it is ripening in phases. For instance, you can see we are harvesting these.
Yeah.
This one we harvested some time back. You see now these slips are quite grown.
Like 3 of them.
Yes, these are
Actually,
4.
They are 4
4
actually.
Yes,
wow.
These ones, they are more or less ready to pick.
When was this harvested?
This one maybe was around May.
Oh, okay.
When we removed this one.
Wow.
Those are some of those early, because as you plant some of these slips, there are those that are well grown, well developed, others are a little bit. So you find that when you plant, your pineapple will grow in phases. So imagine we harvested that one, but we can say we are really in earnest starting with these pineapples. So remember, there are those ones which are at this level, these ones which are flowering.
We are in Lad Mix Farm today, and actually this place is in Nuoya. This is a pineapple garden. It's about 10 acres. If you're actually someone interested in pineapple farming, this video is for you. My name is Layoo Charles, and I'm bringing to you the farming stories of Uganda. This is the Ugandan farmer. Today I'm right here with Mr. Arthur, a pineapple farmer. Also, he's doing chili, goats farming, poultry, all those. If you are interested in it, keep on watching, because you are going to learn a lot. In today's video, we will be talking about pineapple. Growing up in northern Uganda, I used to know that pineapple only comes from central Uganda, from Luero, but it's actually changing the story. Of northern Uganda. So let's welcome Arthur to the channel. He'll introduce himself, and then we keep on, telling you about his story. You're most welcome.
Thank you, Charles. I'm called Arthur Nkubito. I'm a farmer, full-time farmer actually.
Oh, full-time?
At Lad Mix Farm in Nuoya. We are found in Bajere Parish, and so you can be able to reach us out and be able to interact with us more.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Wow, it's amazing to see what you're doing. So right here where we are standing is a pineapple garden.
Yes.
I don't know if garden is the right word to use.
Yes.
How many acres is this?
We have 2 sections. It's one big section. Actually, it's over 10 acres. But we have around 6 acres that have started flowering and fruiting.
Yeah.
And the other ones, I think they will start as we begin the next year, because we planted them in phases.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Now let's get to know about your journey. I believe you did not start this like this year, because you can see what we are holding right here.
Yes.
Take us through your journey. How did you start everything, and what exactly inspired you, or why did you start this pineapple farming right here in northern Uganda?
Thank you so much. After acquiring some land here, I noticed that the climate here was more or less like any other parts of Uganda that I've been traveling in, and I was always fascinated about the pineapple crop. So looking at the weather where the pineapples was growing and looking at how they were performing, I just felt it could perform very well here. So I needed to take that bold step. However, in order to do that, I also needed to get the right type of pineapple to bring, you see. So I reached out, because in my former employment, before I turned into a full-time farmer, I was supporting some projects within beyond Masaka area, in Kalisizo area. And so we're supporting some of the farmers that were doing pineapple farming, coffee farming, and so forth. So I knew, looked at the pineapple, the quality, the taste, and so forth. So I knew that that was the quality I'd wanted to bring here. So I took the trouble to bring it all the way from Kalisuzo past Kampala and bring it all the way to Nwoya. And I was trying to look at a crop which you can grow in a smaller area but give you high income, but also a crop which can give you income over multiple years. Because as you may know, or as you may discover today, a pineapple takes 1.5 years to grow. Yes.
And it would be ready?
Yes, it will be ready. It takes 1.5 years. It starts flowering from the 15th month. And from the 15th to the 18th month, that's when it takes actually 3 months from flowering to fruiting to see, a fruit of this nature. So I needed a crop that I could be able to get income from over a certain period of time. Because at the same time, I was doing some crop farming here. I think I started with some sunflower as well, plus maize, soybean. But I could get challenges of climate change, prolonged rains when you don't expect them, prolonged sunshine even during the rainy season, and there's a way it would disorganize entirely the cycle of the soya, for instance. So I needed a crop that whether it rains so much, whether it shines so much, the crop will keep on moving forward. And so I zeroed down on the pineapple. Now the reason why I waited up to this point, being a new crop in the region, people needed to see how it is growing, the vegetative nature of it in the garden, how healthy it will look like, but also the fruit. Look at the size of the fruit and taste. So after picking and testing and sampling it out to the market, that's when I decided to say, okay, let's have people look at it. Let's interest people to grow this crop. It is a very sweet pineapple. You'll attest to it once you taste it. And the volume, when you look at the size, is very good. So you can imagine having a crop like this and helping people not to go all the way to the central to be able to buy a fruit like this to eat. We can be able to grow this crop here, and people can be able to add value to it if they want to do juice. But also the traders that move all the way from South Sudan to the central, this time they'll just stop in the northern part of the country and be able to take it. The only challenge with such traders, when they come to a garden, they want to come and find volumes, so that when he brings his truck, he wants to be able to fill a truck in a particular village. So even if you are to do 1 acre or 2, your neighbor does 1 acre or 2 and the other one does maybe 3. He knows that once he comes there and you have agreed on the price, he will just park in one place and you fill a whole truck. And that is the only secret when it comes to these bigger markets. Yes.
And I think, I was interacting with a certain farmer a few days ago. I think that's actually one of the best way to grow as a farmer. If you don't have a very huge resources, you can, a certain farm would do this, another one would do this. So when the buyer comes, he collects from all of you.
Exactly.
I got someone asked me on my channel recently that can pineapple grow in northern Uganda? At first, I didn't know how to answer this question because I had not met you. But since you're here, I think you're the right person to answer that question. Can pineapple grow in northern Uganda?
Thank you so much, Charles. As you can attest to this, pineapples are doing very well in northern Uganda and can actually do very well, provided you have loamy soils. Even if they are sandy soils, you have just to avoid the swampy area, because pineapples don't need waterlogged soils, because then the root system will just end up rotting. They need significant amounts of rain when it is time to rain, but you don't have to plant them in a swampy area like eucalyptus. For that eucalyptus type that needs a swampy area, it will just not thrive well. So here, as you can see, the soils are very rich generally in the northern sub-region. So unless I've not seen any area in the northern sub-region which cannot accommodate a pineapple growth.
Almost every area.
Yes, apart from a swamp. You see, which is more or less the same even if you went to another part of the country. And just to interest people is that these ones are planted, of course, using suckers. Now, just to alert them that in an acre, you can actually plant 15,000 suckers. Now 15,000 suckers, you use it when you're using a spacing of 1.5 feet from one sucker to the other within a particular line.
Oh, okay.
But from one line to the other, you just give it a spacing of 2 feet.
Oh.
So when you use that spacing, you'll be able to plant 15,000 suckers in a particular acre.
Wow.
Now, why we do it that way? Because of the nature of the soils, you want to make sure that you give the pineapples enough space. Remember, as I told you, once you harvest the first fruit, pineapples don't just die out there and then.
Yeah.
It will be able to grow other suckers that come from the ground.
So if you harvest one like this,
yes,
more will still come from that.
Exactly.
Wow.
So depending on how the soil is fertile, you can either leave, it will give you up to 3 suckers. So you can either thin and say you want only 1 or 2.
Yes.
But if you find that the soil is good and is adequate enough to handle the 3, leave all the 3 to grow well.
Yeah.
And that's why we give it a spacing of 1.5 feet from one to the other and 2 feet.
Yeah.
In areas where the soil is so exhausted and you know that whatever you do is not going to give you a very big fruit, that's when you use 1 foot for 1 foot by 1 foot to plant. There you have a lot of volumes, but it will be of some size, you see. But where you're sure that the soils are very good, please give it a spacing of 1.5 feet from within one line, and then from one line to the other 2 feet. Then it will be able to give you the size that you really want. Now, as I told you, as long as when you're weeding, just make sure you keep on putting soils along the pineapple lines, and so it will grow when it is having a lot of root penetration, that will give it a good anchoring and can give you a very good fruit, you see. And then there you'll be able to see that once you remove this pineapple in a short while, the other suckers will start emerging that will give you the second fruit. If you look after the garden very well, by adding either cow dung, goat dung, rabbit dung, and cow urine and so forth, you will harvest up to 4 times. But normally, we tell people that expect harvest up to 3 rounds. So this is going to be the first round of harvesting. Now, that takes 1.5 years. But the second round of harvesting, you'll find you will wait between 11 and 12 months. Why? Because the plant is already established, the root system is already there, the leaves are already there. So once the sucker comes from underneath, it is just feeding on this. So it's ready to move, and it will grow so fast. So that in 1 year, again, you find yourself picking another round of what? Of fruit. As you continue looking after the garden, you continue adding the manure and feeding it, it will give you up to the 3rd round. So imagine harvesting 15,000 pineapples, and after 1 year, you again harvest 15,000 pineapples up to 3 times. And remember, these are pineapples that are not going to ripen at a go. That's the beauty of a pineapple garden. 1 acre, you'll find that it is ripening in phases. For instance, you can see we are harvesting these. This one we harvested some time back. You see now these slips are quite grown.
Like 3 of them.
Yes, these are
actually,
4. They are 4
actually.
Yes, these ones they are more or less ready to pick.
When was this harvested?
This one maybe was around May.
Okay.
When we removed this one. Those are some of those early, because as you plant some of these slips, there are those that are well grown, well developed, others are a little bit. So you find that when you plant, your pineapple will grow in phases. So imagine we harvested that one, but we can say we are really in earnest starting with these pineapples. So remember, there are those ones which are at this level, these ones which are flowering. Okay. Then you have these ones which are yet to flower. So as you keep on selling these ones, by the time you exhaust all these ripe ones, you will not realize it that this one is already almost time to ripen. Then you start harvesting. Before you realize harvesting that round and finishing that cycle, these ones will have flowered. So you'll keep on harvesting from a particular garden even up to 6 months. And that is weekly income, and that is very, very good for a farmer, especially in the region where people are used to planting, say, maize or soybean. And you find during harvesting time, a truck comes and moves in the region, in the villages buying. But because people are in need of finances because of school fees and so forth, they find themselves selling. In 1 month, you find the whole village doesn't have food, the money has been spent, which can be turned around by growing pineapple. Because pineapple, you keep on selling in phases. You see, it keeps on. And remember, by the time you finish the other one, because now we are getting this, before we finish a month or so, we are harvesting the other one, there will be this one. By the time you finish this one will have brought another sack underneath. Before you realize it's already flowering.
Yeah.
So you'll keep on having money for a long period of a minimum of 3 years. You see? And it's a very good crop that can be a game changer.
Yes.
And that's why I'm encouraging people to really look at this crop, provided you can get quality seedlings, which we are able to what?
Yeah.
To provide.
Yes.
Yes, please.
Someone may be asking, you've talked of suckers, that what is a sucker? Yeah.
Okay. A sucker, I'm going to tell people there are 3 types. When you're growing pineapples are grown vegetatively, meaning you get a part of a pineapple is what you plant to get another pineapple.
Yeah.
And that one we do using suckers.
Yeah.
Now for suckers, we have 3 types of vegetative growth on a pineapple. We have the crown, this very one.
Okay.
This one cannot.
This whole thing.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
This whole thing.
This is called the crown.
Yes.
Yeah.
When you pluck it off like this, you can break it off. You can actually plant this and get a pineapple.
Okay.
But this one will take you 2 years from the point you put it.
Yeah.
24 months for you to pick a fruit. Then we have the slips.
Yes.
These ones.
Like this.
Yes.
Okay.
Those ones take 20 months to be able to harvest.
Yeah.
If they are well developed, 18 months. Then we have what they call the sucker. The sucker is when I told you that once you remove this fruit, there is the other suckers that grow from underneath. That you, if you're doing thinning, if you find that your garden is healthy enough and you don't have to thin, you don't have to touch. Those ones take 18 months. But when you go to a pineapple garden and people are selling you seedlings of pineapples or suckers, they are always referring to the slips. Those are the ones that are growing immediately underneath the pineapple. And that is what you plant and can be able to give you fruit.
Wow.
Yes.
You know what you're doing is actually quite amazing, and you went ahead up to a very far distance, I think over 400 kilometers.
Exactly.
To bring these pineapple seedlings here.
Yes.
And now the people from northern Uganda can just come and get it here, even cheaply.
Yes.
So I know you are able to supply pineapple seedlings, you're able to people to do consultation, and people can learn from you.
Yes.
So how much, someone who may be asking, who wants to venture into pineapple farming, how much is a seedling for pineapple?
Exactly. Thank you so much. Here we are selling a seedling at 200 shillings.
Oh, only?
Yes, because actually I was in Uganda at some point around the market, and I saw somebody trying to, I don't know where he sourced them from, and was trying to sell a seedling at 500. And I was saying, this is very unfair. Even if you have the crop, it's, if you are in to support the community, don't make it very expensive.
Exactly.
You see, make it affordable to the point that they can be able to. Of course, even if you're going to plant something, if you don't have money, even if it's a rice garden, it will be expensive for you.
Sure.
So, but for pineapples, we are selling a seedling at what? At 200 shillings. But to plant an acre, you'll need 15,000 seedlings. So, which translates to 3 million what? Shillings to be able to plant.
That's for 1 acre.
That is for 1 acre. So, depending on the volume or number of acres that you would want to plant, we can be able to provide you the seedlings. As I told you, I have another colleague I work with who is based in Masaka, where I source these ones, because when we are giving out seedlings, we want to make sure that 15 months down the road, you are going to be smiling and remembering what we did for you. It's not good to just pick a seedling from wherever you're picking it from. You'll either end up with a sour pineapple. There are also pineapples, once it fruits like this, is not able to propagate and give you more slips to be able to harvest the second and third round. You harvest once and the garden is done. So there are different types of pineapples, and how you look after them that will determine how you can be able to get the crop. So this type of pineapple, we went at length to make sure that we avail it here. We want when it can be able to change, you know, the narrative in the north, where not necessarily that it's a humble community, a humble person, a humble household can sell off maize, and in 1 month the person is struggling again to survive. If they can be able to access these seedlings, even if you can't afford it as an individual, you team up and say we are 3 or 4 and want to buy an acre. Or if you're a farmer group or a VSLA or a saving group of some nature, you can collect money together and first start by growing gardens as a group. Remember, as I told you, once you harvest this crop, the slips that will come from out there will give you a minimum of 4 gardens, new gardens of pineapples.
Yes.
You see,
Yeah.
and that's just the first round of harvest.
So the beauty about it is, if I come right now to Lad Mix Farm, then I buy one like 15,000 seedling. I may not be able to come back again because I will already, you know, be having
Exactly.
it.
That's what I want people to understand. When you buy your 15,000 seedlings and say you've bought an acre or 2 or 3, depending on how fast you want to capture the market in the northern region,
Yeah.
you will buy the seedlings once and for all. From that point onwards,
Yeah.
you are going to be a major supplier of seedlings
Exactly.
to the nucleus community around you.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you can be able to mint money. Because, for instance, I told you,
Yeah.
if you have taken an acre and the minimum, remember after the first round of harvest, it will give you 4 acres.
Yes.
If you want to just plant an additional one and remain with the mother garden 1 acre plus another one, meaning you have seedlings for 3 acres that is available for selling. And that is only the first round of harvest. After 1 year, when you're doing another round of harvest, there will be seedlings worth another 4 acres. That one you can also sell up to the third round. And remember, by the time you are picking the third round of harvest in that mother garden, now the seedlings you planted after the first harvest, at that point they are also beginning to mature, and so you find yourself in a cycle of harvesting, you know. They say money grows on leaves. This is literally what I'm trying to tell people. Yes, please.
Wow. You know, I'll try to branch a little bit. You know, I know they say farming is the backbone of Africa. Unfortunately, we translate this in a very negative way. A lot of young people, just like me, have a very wrong idea about farming. Yet, in reality, farming, if you're serious about farming, and you don't need to put a lot, it can change your life. As Arthur, and you've been a farmer, right now you're a full-time farmer, do you believe farming is the solution to the young people of Africa?
I can tell people that farming is going to be the solution. It's actually the solution. First of all, we have the advantage of the land. The land is available.
Yes. You can
either
have it, you can buy, you can rent,
hire, you can rent, you can hire, you can lease.
Yes.
The land, at least you will not say that there is nowhere you can lease land. It's a lot.
There's land everywhere.
Exactly. So I encourage people to lease land or rent, or for those that have land to utilize it.
Yes.
You see, for me, when I was in active employment, it so happened that it was due to COVID-19. It was a problem globally, and it affected financial resources from most NGOs.
Yes.
And mine was not the exception. So when I felt that there was no opportunity and my contract came to a close, and I knew that looking for an opportunity will take another 6 months, then you are into the probationary period and so forth. And yet I was already having this
maybe the money you had saved, you will be using it again.
Exactly. So now I saw that I had some, small land. I said, why not go into farming? Secondly, I can guarantee that if you're out there and you're employed, you're not going to get rich through getting a salary. You are supposed to think outside the box, start off a venture that can give you, whether you want to go into animal production or crop production, and then farm. You'll be able to make quick money and sooner than later. I think that's one of the reasons why I opted to go into full-time farming. I'm not at the age of saying that I'm at the retirement, bracket. But I decided to see that, yes, I was getting, my salary was not bad, but looking at what I wanted to achieve in a certain period of time, I had to make a hard decision and say, let me go into what? Into full-time farming. And going into full-time farming, I wanted to go for those crops, unique crops that can give us return, not farming for the sake of farming. I would have come and put maybe rice or maize and so forth. They are also very good. By the way, rice is a very good crop, but normally it performs well if you have volumes, let's say number of acres. Even maize, if you plant and add value to it, and sorghum and so forth. But for me, my desire is always to go for these crops whereby if you plant and harvest, the garden does not die off after your first harvest. You are able to do the second, third, fourth harvest and propagate. I also wanted a crop that is not going to be affected by the climate, climate change, where there is prolonged sunshine or prolonged rain, and they say no, it is waterlogged, now it's not going to work well. That's why you find I came up with this crop in the northern part of Uganda, and it's going to be a game changer for somebody out there. Even if you're a graduate and you think it's going to be a challenge for you to look for what? For a job.
Yes.
Just take a bold step. Come buy a seedlings for 1 acre. You will not turn back. Just imagine you have your 15,000 fruits. Even if we say we are going to make it to the basic minimum of selling a pineapple, whether it is this size or this size, you're going to sell it 1,000. With 15,000 suckers, you're going to make yourself at least 15 million shillings. From what? From an acre. And remember, this is just the first round. After 1 year, you go again through another round of harvest. You see? Now, if you have this 1 acre and you're getting that money, you can use that money to diversify and say maybe you want to do poultry, or you want to do maybe you want to go into avocado production, or you want to do goat farming. The 15 million or 12 or 10 can help you to kickstart. Remember, you are seated at home. What is important with this crop? Please grow it where your eyes can see. Because we have human pests that also enjoy this crop. If you put it very far and you think that you're going to harvest, it's just attractive to a young child. If he's grazing out there, he'll pick it and eat it. So if you're somewhere, even if it is far, just set your grass thatched house. Very good, very cool. Stay there. If you can fence off that block, be there. Once you're there, people are not going to really. And also, it would be important to, if you are, because now you become like the satellite farmer in that locality. Motivate people to what? To grow this crop. If you can be able to sell them cheap, these seedlings, let them have it. Eventually, because for me, I know that, for instance, if Charles, you take this and you base maybe in Layoo and you plant it and say you've done 2 acres. In 3 years' time, I'm sure there will be like 5 more people whom you will have provided seedlings on top of you expanding. So you find Layoo begins to expand pineapple production. Another one is in Agago, another one is in Noya. Before you know it, in 5 years, we shall be the whole northern Uganda a hub of what? Of fruit production. Because I have seen Kenyans traveling all the way from Kenya. They come. We have a lady who has planted 1,200 acres of mangoes, Delight Farm here. And
is it near here?
Yes, it's in Limuru sub-county. Wow. So you find, because of the volume, she wants to set up a factory which is not yet ready. But Kenyans are driving box bodies, whole trucks, full from there, coming all the way to buy mangoes. You see? But why are they coming? It's because the farm is able to provide the volume. He will pack once and fill the whole truck. That's what makes sense with a particular work. You're able to provide the whole truck, but you're also providing quality. And then somebody will be able to do what? Get income from this. So I'm encouraging people that it's not a challenge when you say that if everybody grows pineapples. That is the trick. You go in the central, when you go to areas that grow pineapples, you'll find people with 200 acres, 100 acres. You find when you have 2-3 acres in such community, you don't even talk. People have 50, 100, 200, 500 acres of pineapples. And they are doing it, and sub-county, and district. So the volumes are very important. Recently, we've seen some investors from the Middle East coming, and they're setting up fruit processing factories in those sub-regions. So even here, I am sure once you have the volumes, the sky is the limit. If you go to town, you'll find so many people with these juicers, these juice points. They have become so many. What do you think? They are going to need this fruit. Because as we speak now, there is no mango. There is nowhere you'll get a mango, which they would do, and they have a mixture of, how they call it, a mixture of maybe pineapple and mango, or pineapple or mango and the avocado and melon. But the pineapple, I'm telling you, this one, when you start harvesting, you're going to keep on harvesting for 6 months. Meaning this juicer is sure of getting this crop from you. There's no any other crop that you're going to harvest like this. Mangoes, you start harvesting in 1 month, it gets depleted from the tree. Start flowering. But as I told you, this one, you get it in phases. So you are not even going to be worried about the market, about who's going to consume it. Even you yourself, as you consume it, you'll find yourself promoting the crop in the region.
Wow, this is really amazing, and I'm just impressed. Actually, it's quite amazing what is happening right here. And I'm holding this. It's ready, by the way, and it's smelling so nice. Smelling so nice, and it's just so awesome. And if you are in northern Uganda, you're watching this, we do have land here. And like some of us, we are born and, we inherited the land from our grandfathers, our parents, and we are not using it.
Yes.
I think we really have to change our mindset and how we think about farming. Not we should be not doing maybe only maize all the time, soya beans, granules, which, when the season comes, people sell it.
Yes.
And unfortunately, you see, this thing, when the buyers come, they actually buy it very cheaply.
Yes.
When it's many. So that's the unfortunate bit of it. And pineapple, this is amazing. And to any young person who is watching this right now, I think it's the right time for us, the young people, to venture into this. We have people like Arthur who are able to give us even free knowledge, actually, and it's always available. So this is amazing.
And actually, they should also know about my YouTube channel, so that they can be able to.
Yes, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave the link to his channel. To the, it's called Lad Makes Farm. You can go there and learn everything about pineapple, about goats farming, chili, pawpaw. He's doing quite a lot, and he's an experienced farmer. So I'm going to do that. If we are to conclude this one, to anyone who is watching this video right now, who is interested in doing pineapple farming, or who is interested in venturing into farming,
yes,
what would be your advice to them, or what they need to know?
Okay. Thank you so much. Just to make everybody, our listeners out there, understand is that this particular crop does not have a season per se. Whether it is a rainy season, you can plant it. Whether it's a dry season, you can plant it. So in Uganda, as I told you, they plant it mainly during the dry season because they want to leave the onset of the rainy season to come back to this particular garden and do intercrop with these seasonal crops like maize and beans, which rely on the rainfall. As I told you, when it takes a month and a half and you have not planted maize or beans, that's when you find people telling you, you're too late, you can't plant. It's not something you can say with this one. For it is there. And as I told you, in the first season, you can put in a crop, either watermelon or tomatoes. Once you remove, the second season you can suddenly put in beans. So that means even if you are looking at the pineapple taking long, just know that you have harvested the first season, you have gotten your maize, the second season you have gotten your beans. The third season, just add soil on it and let it be a garden like this, because at that point it is trying to grow very big and trying to expand, and and you want it to absorb properly from the ground and be able to give you a good crop. Remember, the returns that are going to come from here are way much better than what you've gotten from the maize, or that you can get in a particular acre of maize or beans. And so you want this crop to also pick up very well. And remember, it is a crop that is going to give you for multiple years, say 3 years. Yes, please.
Wow. That's amazing. And I think we can end this one right here.
Okay.
But it has been nice having a chat with you about this.
Yes, please.
Thank you for watching. This is the Ugandan farmer. Stories about Ugandan doing great thing in agriculture, farming. And of course, I am Charles Layoo. I'll see you in our very next video.